quiet page turns while the room keeps breathing. Soft steps outside the frame and I am listening. I set my pen down slow, then start again, letting the afternoon fold itself into the lines. Open on movement passing by outside. I caught your name in the seam of the day. Not in a hurry, not trying to hold it tight, just letting it hover and settle in place. The kettle was done, the mail had come. I stacked the notes by the bowl near the door and thought how the smallest things stay with us, like a thread in a sleeve or a mark in the floor. The neighbor's bookstore had its bell half muffled, a little paper rustle drifting through the block. So I wrote about nothing and everything at once, about the cracked blue mug and the clock's soft knock. You'd laugh at the way I still talk to the chair, as if you might answer from there beside me. But I guess that is how long distance works. Some voices keep room in the air we can't see, and I don't need much to feel you near. A line, a joke, a memory clear, a hand on the page, a breath between, the ordinary glow of an in-between. So I'll leave a little promise in the fold of this letter. No grand speech, just a way to stay tethered through grocery lists, late trains, and the days that lean slow. I'll keep a small light going where your good hours go. If the world gets noisy, let it rush and wander. We can meet right here in the quiet and the wonder, with a few true words and the time that we borrow. I'll be here when you read this, and again tomorrow. The pen keeps moving. The room keeps humming. A page can carry more than it looks like, more than the mailbox, more than the distance. Today I walked to the market for oranges and rice, heard a bus silo at the corner stop. Picked up some tea with the folded paper tag and a postcard I never sent to my pops. The florist was trimming green stems by the sink, hands full of stems and a radio tune. I stood there a minute, then laughed at myself, thinking how much I still save up for you. I wanted to say that the sky stayed open, that the laundry swayed like a patient flag, that I fixed the shelf in the hall by myself and only dropped one screw in the shack. I meant to confess I still miss your opinions, your careful pause before you decide. But mostly I wanted to tell you the truth. Life is plain and it's better with you on the side. The bookshop down Maple put chairs near the window, rows of calm covers with the edges worn thin. And I thought of our walks past the used book door, how we guess at the endings hidden within. Some things don't fade when they're softly repeated, like names on a receipt or a tune in the hall. So I'll write them again with a steady hand, and let that be enough, and let that be all. So I'll leave a little promise in the fold of this letter. No grand speech, just a way to stay tethered through grocery lists, late trains, and the days that lean slow. I'll keep a small light going where your good hours go. If the world gets noisy, let it rush and wander. We can meet right here in the quiet and the wonder, with a few true words and the time that we borrow. I'll be here when you read this, and again tomorrow. When you hear from me, it's only this easy. I'm here, I'm fine, and I still keep your place. No need for a hurry, no need for a reason. Just turn the page slow and let it rest in your hands. And if you answer, I'll answer back gently, like the first small bell from the bookshop door. A little promise carried and returning, again and again and again once more. The sleeve by the sofa keeps its shape like a thought, softly bent at the edge where the afternoon caught. The room has its own small breathing, patient and slow, and I let the first line arrive where the quiet can go. Open on an object close enough to touch, this page on my knees, and I miss you not too much, just enough to notice the space in the day where your laugh used to land and then wander away. I wrote your name once, then I wrote it again, like a habit the heart keeps from making amends. This teeth gone cool by the base of the lamp, a coin in the tray and a crease in the stamp. The record in the next room turns soft as a hand, it's worn little circles like footprints in sand. I thought you want new, so I'm sending the plane. I finally fixed that shelf by the window again. The plant by the sink learned to lean toward the glass, and I learned how a Monday can loosen and pass. Nothing here changed in the way that makes headlines. Just a small steady weather of ordinary timelines. But every small detail has started to glow when I set it beside what you'd already know. So I'm writing you here where the paper can hold all the little true things that I never quite told. If the miles have their manners, they still do not win when the voice in the memory says come in, come in. And I'm fine, truly fine in the way that I mean. With the chair, with the song, with the space in between. If you're reading this slowly, that's exactly the plan. For the thread to stay threaded, for the hands to stay hands. Dear, you still, there's a place in the day that I keep for your will. Dear, you still, we are not where we were, but we're not empty. Still. Brushes and guitar breathe. The next room vinyl turns to greens like a porch light that never quite burns. Just a low steady shimmer under the floor, as if every remembered room is a room with a door. I bought a cheap pair from the market downtown, too green at the top and too honest around. It sat in the bowl like a promise not done, and that made me laugh on the bus coming home. I used your old recipe, the one with too much spice, and the whole kitchen smelled like a kind of device. I burnt the first batch just a little at the edge, so I ate them myself by the sink near the head. Your postcard still leans in the bookcase a bit, with the C in the corner and your tidy script. I show people the fridge note you left years ago, then I act like it's nothing, though I think you should know there are evenings that fold themselves neatly into one part of the city, one part of you. I don't need a grand sign to believe what I do, but the quiet keeps going because it learned you. So I'm writing you here where the paper can hold all the little true things that I never quite told. If the miles have their manners, they still do not win when the voice in the memory says come in, and I'm fine, truly fine in the way that I mean. With the chair, with the song, with the space in between. If you're reading this slowly, that's exactly the plan. For the thread to stay threaded, for the hands to stay hands. Dear, you still, there's a place in the day that I keep for your will. Dear, you still, we are not where we were, but we're not empty still. I'll fold this and send it. Let the stamp do its part. Let the rest of the road be the road in your heart. The room keeps rhythm, the record turns on, and the letter stays open long after I'm gone. Dear, you still, if the page is a bridge, then we're meeting on. And dear, you still, not hurried, not broken, just holding and held. Open on the sound the room is making, soft little hush where the pencils rest. I fold my knees in the living room carpet and let the afternoon do the rest. There's a cup gone cool by the edge of the table, a half-read note from some other day, and I'm making a line for the miles between us, like a thread that refuses to fray. I tell you the laundry is finally done now, the one blue sock still went missing again. The plant by the window keeps leaning eastward, like it knows where the day will bend. I heard your city in a train horn passing, just for a second, faint and near. So I wrote your name in the margin slowly, like saying it could make you hear. And I'm not trying to hurry the moment, no, I'm letting each small thing stay. If I keep enough room inside every sentence, maybe it will carry us both this way. Paperclip, keep the pages together, hold this ordinary weather. I'm sending you the little things, the coffee rings, the grocery strings. Paperclip on the corner of longing, not too tight, just quietly bonding. Even when the road is long, somebody's name still sounds like home. Paperclip, hold the pages together. Slow and simple, light as a feather. I went out for bread and a little mint tea, and the sidewalk moved under my shoes. Neighbors were watering herbs in the doorway with that patient look people use. A cyclist rolled by with a tote full of peaches, and I almost bought two by mistake. I thought about how we would laugh at the price tag and the soft little face that I'd make. Back here the radio keeps a low hum going, a voice I don't need to know. I let it blend with the tapping of pen tips and the bass line's easy glow. There are things I won't say because they're small things, not because they don't mean much. Like the way your message still lands in my pocket like a keepsake I never touch. Paperclip, keep the pages together. Hold this ordinary weather. I'm sending you the little things, the coffee rings, the groceries. Paperclip on the corner of longing, not too tight, just quietly bonding. Even when the road is long, somebody's name still sounds like home. Paperclip, hold the pages together. Slow and simple, light as a feather. I'll press this fold and seal the envelope gently. Write your address one more time. If the road is a river, then let it be steady. I'll meet you where the margins rhyme. Until then, keep a chair for me somewhere. Keep a song with the same old key. I'm here in the room with the hum and the paper, and that's enough for you and me. Paperclip, hold us together, page by page, through any weather. Soft floor under my knees, the page held flat. Breath in the room like a coat laid back. The day keeps its shape, unhurried and kind. I hear my own pen making small time. Open on texture or temperature rather than color. I write that the kettle still hums, that the mug by the sink has a nick on its side, and the same little chip still comes back to my eye every afternoon when I reach for tea, when the mail comes through. Funny how tiny things start to matter more when I want to tell them to you. I've been sleeping with the window cracked, with the street sound soft at the edge of the frame. Bikes rolling past and a dog on the corner that answers to no one's name. I folded your letter twice, then once again, and kept it beside the lamp, like a map for a route I know by heart. Though the roads feel farther than that, I don't have news that shouts, just quiet turns and slow amounts. A changed up shelf, a borrowed book, a new plant leaning toward the cook, and all the in-between I missed. The ways a day can still exist. So I'm sending a little, the ordinary, the almost nothing at all. The laugh in the hall, the rain on the rail, the way the neighbors' keys would fall. I keep your name in the soft part of the room where the speaker wires hum. And if the week has moved me far, it always brings me back to where I'm from. We are the thread, the steady line, the small light tying us through. Nothing loud, nothing far to prove, just me still reaching you. Still reaching you. Yeah, bass stays round, the snare keeps grace. A few dive-reform sparks drift by like leaves near a cafe door in the afternoon sky. I saw a woman at the corner stop to laugh at a receipt in her hand, and for a second I thought of us, how we turned plain errands into plans. I bought fruit at the market, too much by one, and shared the last peach with the room. The juice ran down to my wrist like a note that said, don't rush, don't assume. There's a chair by the wall with your old scarf draped over the back of it still. Not because I need it there every day, but because some absences heal by staying in place long enough to become part of the furniture, part of the air, part of the rhythm that lets me live here while I know you're not there. I almost told you a dozen small things, then saved them for paper and ink. How the radio taught me a chorus I couldn't stop humming in the sink. How the leaves by the cafe door kept gathering there like they had a reason to stay. How even a slow afternoon can feel like a bridge when I say your name. So I'm sending a little, the ordinary, the almost nothing at all. The laugh in the hall, the rain on the rail, the way the neighbors' keys would fall. I keep your name in the soft part of the room where the speaker wires hum. And if the week has moved me far, it always brings me back to where I'm from. We are the bread, steady line, small light tying us through. Nothing loud, nothing far to prove, just me still reaching you. When I seal this up, I don't feel empty, only light, like I set down a bag I've carried through the bright, right back when you can, with your own small weather and nose. I'll be here in the pulse, in the pause, in the groove. And if the distance stays, it stays the way a river stays blue. Moving, not leaving, I'll be waiting for you. Count the little things in the room tonight. Paper, a pen, and the cup I set aside. Open mid-thought, as though continuing a sentence. I started on the corner where the kettle clicked twice, then let the page take over at its own slow pace. There's a chair by the window with my sweater on it, and the same small and tidy pile of mail by the vase. I made soup for one and still left room for seconds, and laughed at myself and ate it anyway. The speaker on the shelf has been humming low and steady, like it knows the shape of an ordinary day. I keep thinking of your laugh when the room gets crowded, of how you tip your cup when the story goes long. Nothing major happened, just the usual little turning, but it all feels brighter when I know where it belongs. Maybe that's the trick of a quiet afternoon, how a simple line can hold a distant tune. I write your name, then mine, then let the ink go thin, and suddenly the miles are not so wide again. Down the way, I'm still sending my voice to you, folded in the crease of a blue and white view. We can let the days move slow, let the corners round, like cups and saucers settling after friendly talk on the ground. Nothing needs to be perfect or new, just a steady little thread from me to you. If the road has its own pace, if the sky leans in, I'll be here riding back till we meet again. Today I watered the basil and it leaned toward the glass, and I thought of your place with the plant you swore would survive. I bought peaches from the market and one was almost too ripe, so I ate it standing up and let the juice run alive. There was a man at the counter with the dog in a red scarf, and the dog shook off rain that wasn't even there. I nearly told him about you, but instead I just smiled, because some stories work best when they travel with care. I have a stack of songs I meant to send you last month, and a joke I forgot until the evening was through. These are small common things, but they keep their own rhythm, and every little rhythm seems to circle back to you. Down the way, I'm still sending my voice to you, folded in a crease of a blue and white view. We can let the days move slow, let the corners round like cups and saucers, settling after friendly talk on the ground. Down the way, nothing needs to be perfect or new, just a steady little thread from me to you. If the road has its own pace, if the sky leans in, I'll be here riding back till we meet again. So take this letter as it comes, unguarded and plain, with a few soft pauses and a little sweet strain. I miss you in the easy parts, in the wash of the week, in the way a quiet room feels kinder when you speak. I'll keep the light on in my mind, not waiting, just near, and leave the last line open so it can reach you here. Down the way, same road, same song in view. I'm still here, and I'm still sending my voice to you. I keep the page open, letting the afternoon breathe. Open with a small refusal, a contradiction. I said I wasn't counting the hours, but I counted the ache of them anyway. Your name moved through the room like a soft footstep, quiet enough to miss, steady enough to stay. I wrote down the little things first, the kettle's patient whistle, the plant by the silt leaning toward the glass, the way the dish towel fell over the chair like it had something to say, and how my thoughts kept circling back to the last time we laughed too long, too fast. I'm not lonely in the dramatic way, just in the ordinary one, where a song ends and the chair beside you keeps its shape. So I fold the day into a letter and let my pen make a bridge I can trust in its way. If the road has been noisy where you are, I hope this line comes in clear. Nothing urgent, nothing hard, just me still here. I'm sending you a slow day signal, soft enough to cross the miles, a bookmark waiting in a half-finished chapter, holding our place with a quiet smile. I'm sending you the shape of my afternoon, the small bright mess that I call home. If you open this and feel less far away, then the letter did what it was meant to do. Hold the pocket, let it thin for a moment. Listen to the room between the notes. Today I tried the soup from that recipe you swore by, and yes, you were right about the lemon at the end. I watered the basil too late, apologized, do it, then laughed at myself because some days just bend. The neighbor played piano through the wall for a minute, just enough to tint the air with the Bible tune. I thought of how we used to trade tiny updates like pebbles passed across a table under a moon. You'd ask if I was sleeping, if I seen the new clouds, if I was still making room for the things I'd outgrown. I'd tell you the truth in the safest pieces, that I miss you most when the house sounds like my own, but not in a way that pulls me under, more like a tide that knows how to leave the shore. Every ordinary detail is a thread in the sweater, and your name is the stitch I keep coming back for. I'm sending you a slow day signal, soft enough to cross the miles, a bookmark waiting in a half-finished chapter, holding our place with a quiet smile. I'm sending you the shape of my afternoon, the small bright mess that I call home. If you open this and feel less far away, then the letter did what it was meant to do. So keep a corner for me in your tomorrow, not empty, just ready and kind. I'll keep a corner here for your returning, where the light falls easy and the tea stays wake up mid-sentence, mid-breath, mid-song. Until then I'm folding this paper and leave, knowing some connections are quiet but long, and still going on. And still going on. Soft chair, slow breath, paper on my knees. Headphones on, I let the afternoon ease. Open by speaking directly to someone in the room. I say, hey, if you could see me now. You laugh at the way I fold the page. I'm on the rug with my shoes kicked off, letting the day unspool at a kind of pace. The kettle has gone quiet, the mail is stacked, and the ceiling fan keeps time. I wrote your name at the top, then paused, like I could hear your answer in mine. The room keeps this little humming, a low-life hymn of the ordinary kind. And outside, small city reflections drift across glass and disappear in lines. I meant to keep it simple, just the facts, just the weather and the week. But every tiny thing I touch turns into you, the way memory likes to speak. So I keep going, line by line, leaving room where your voice still fits beside mine. Nothing urgent, nothing grand, just a folded map of where I am. If the street lights blink and the buses sigh, I'm still here, still riding through the sky. And if this page goes on and on, it's only me saying you're not gone. I bought the oranges you like, though I kept one on the sill for later. The peel is bright on the counter, but the juice tastes like patience, not favors. I still miss the way you comment on the smallest, strangest part of a room, like how the chipped blue bowl can hold more light than any polished bloom. My plant leans toward the window, same as ever, stubborn and alive. The neighbors moved the piano once, and now I hear it when the elevator sighs. I haven't changed too much, at least not in the ways that really matter or show. I laugh at the same dumb jokes, and I still read the last page slow. So I keep going, line by line, leaving room where your voice still fits beside mine. Nothing urgent, nothing grand, just a folded map of where I am. If the streetlights blink and the buses sigh, I'm still here, still riding through the sky. And if this page goes on and on, it's only me saying you're not gone. Maybe that's all a letter is, a hand reaching, then resting easy with this. A little current under the door, proof we still arrive and leave it open for more. So I sign my name, then breathe and pause, knowing some distances are just softer applause. Until the next time when the day leans long, I'll keep a place for you in the middle of the song. Soft landing, page closed, room still bright. One last note, then I'll let it be right. You'll hear from me when the season turns. Until then, this quiet little promise stays warm. Soft chair creak, page turning, a breath held easy. I let the pen wander before I let it speak. The kettle sings once in the kitchen and fades, and I'm still here, still finding the right small words. I miss you in the middle of ordinary things, in the way the afternoon leans in the radiator hums. I made tea too strong, then let it cool and watch the steam climb up like I thought. I almost said there's a loaf on the counter still carrying heat, and the whole room smells like cinnamon and waiting. I keep thinking you'd laugh at the crooked line I drew around the margin just to mark your name here. The day is doing what days do best. It folds laundry, it dusts the ledger, leaves me room to remember. I bought tomatoes and forgot the basil. Found a ticket stub in my coat from last month. Nothing important maybe, but I wanna tell you anyway, because you are the person my small things look for. If this sounds like I'm talking around the door, it's only because I'm trying not to rush the knock. I got a life made of little moving parts, and every one of them keeps your shape in mind. Will it reach you when the light turns softer? When the city settles into its slower name? Will it reach you on my quiet weather? All the unpolished hours I'm sending your way. I'm hiding from a room that knows your laughter, from a table where the bread is still warm from the pan. If the words arrive a little after sunset, let them arrive exactly as they are. Will it reach you, this the threat I'm making? From my half-laughed days to your faraway door. I'm not asking for a grand return, just the feeling that the line is still secure. Clavinet slips through brush drums, keep the floor steady. I pause, read one sentence, then another. The pen hovers, then lands again, and the room keeps its easy swing. Today I watered the plant by the window twice, as if care could hurry and still be gentle. I folded the shirt with one sleeve inside out, fixed it, smiled, and left it a little imperfect. There was bread in the oven and the crust went crackling like a tiny applause for nobody in particular. I thought of your shoes by the door years ago, and how you always left them pointed toward morning. Do you still hum to yourself while the water boils? Do you still forget where you set down your keys? Hear the radio keeps offering songs I know by heart, but your name lives in the spaces between the notes. I don't have news that changes the weather, just proof that the days still gather and pass. The same old street, the same stray sparrow, the same pen lying patient as a hand on my shoulder. Will it reach you when the light turns softer? When the city settles into its slower name? Will it reach you on my quiet weather? All the unpolished hours I'm sending your way. I'm hiding from a room that knows your laughter, from the table where the bread is still warm from the pan. If the words arrive a little after sunset, let them arrive exactly as they are. Will it reach you, this threat I'm making? From my half-laughed days to your faraway door. I'm not asking for a grand return, just the feeling that the line is still secure. So I'll seal it slow and trust the road, trust the hands that pass it on. If it reaches you while you're making dinner, if it reaches you after a long day's work, read it as a hand wave, read it as a chair pulled near, read it as cinnamon in the air, as proof I'm here and you are there, and both of us are still on the same soft line. Will it reach you? I think it will. I think it will. Will it reach you, love? Will it reach you? Open on a habit, repeat it every day. I fold the same blue paper, press the edges straight. Your name lands softly where the pencil traced, and the room leans in like it knows your face. I tell you how the kettle clicks before it sings, how the thrift store mug still shows a chipped out ring, how I bought too much fruit and let half of it rest, how ordinary hours can still feel blessed. There's a chair by the wall that remembers your laugh, and I keep leaving space in the middle of the path, just in case your footsteps come home by mistake, just in case my heart learns a smaller ache. I'm not trying to reach for anything grand, just putting my days in your open hand. One small confession, then another one, until the page feels like the two of us begun. It's a blue forecast, calm and clear, a long easy afternoon when you feel near. Though you're miles from my table and out of sight, I can still place your shadow in the quiet light. It's a blue forecast, steady and kind, with the soft little pull at the back of my mind. I send you the weather, I send you my state, and the line between us never feels late. Today the market was crowded with herbs and bread, and I thought of the scarf you once borrowed and kept for 3 whole weeks, then returned in spring with the tiny button fixed by a silver ring. I walked past the river, watched the gulls turn low, and I smiled at a joke only we would know about taking the long way when the day feels thin, about keeping a place for the world to begin. I'm learning the art of the unhurried note, of writing the truth in a lighter coat, that I miss your opinions on nearly everything, from old film endings to which song we should sing. But I'm good, and the garden outside is green, and the neighbor still waves like a familiar scene. It's a blue forecast, calm and clear, a long easy afternoon when you feel near. Though you're miles from my table and out of sight, I can still place your shadow in the quiet light. It's a blue forecast, steady and kind, with the soft little pull at the back of my mind. I send you the weather, I send you my state, and the line between us never feels late. So I seal this letter with a careful thumb, let the ink dry slow where the small truths come. If the season turns, let it turn with grace. I leave my hello in the usual place, and when you read this, let your shoulders fall. Know there's a little room between us after all, not gone, not fading, just stretched and true, like an unhurried table made for two. Open on a smell, arriving from another room. I let it drift through the hallway, and it brings me back without trying. No need to hurry what it knows. I keep my pen near the edge of the page while the room leans in, unafraid. Open on a smell, arriving from another room. Something like tea or clean cotton or rain on wood. It slips through the flat and sits by my shoulder, as if it had a message it understood. I'm on the floor with my knees tucked under, papers around me like quiet white keys. The fan keeps time with the patient rhythm, and the day moves slowly through the trees. I was meaning to write before the hour got late, before the little things stacked up tall. But the longer I listen to the life in the room, the more I remember I need to tell you all. I got your last note with the crooked corner, and I smiled at the line about your train. How you missed your stop by a single minute, and laughed at yourself in the pouring rain. I love that part, the ordinary miracle of you still finding a way through the day. It made your distance feel less like distance, more like a road we both know how to trace. So I'm letting the sentences wander like loose threads finding the seam. Not every small thing is important, but every small thing feels like a beam. I carry the day to the page, then I fold it, soft as a sleeve around something true. I keep the bright little details, I hold them so you can hold them when I send them to you. I carry the day and it lightens the corners, all of the errands, the steam and the stone, and even the quiet I never can name yet starts sounding less like a part and more like home. I should tell you the basil's been trying again. One brave leaf leaning toward the glass. I watered it late and it forgave me anyway. That's the kind of grace I notice when days pass. The neighbor's dog barks at the postman's whistle. The kettle clicks, then cools in peace. I found your old postcard behind a cookbook. Same smudged blue ink, same easy crease. And I laughed at the photo we took by the ferry. My hair in my eyes, your hands in your coat. We looked like two people pretending not to know how often a memory can keep itself afloat. I don't have a big revelation for you, just a drawer that sticks and a song on low. The street outside turning its color a shade, and the thought that I wanted you to know. If the week has been heavy where you are standing, set it down when you can't let it breathe. I've been learning the weight of the smallest comforts, how they stay, how they soften, how they weave. I carry the day to the page that I folded, soft as a sleeve around something true. Little details, I hold them, so you can hold them when I send them to you. I carry the day and it lightens the corners, all of the errands, the steam and the stone, and even the quiet I never can name yet starts sounding less like a part and more like home. The page gets full, but I'm not finished living. There's always one more line to say. I'll close with daisy kind of missing, the kind that knows it can wait. So I'll sign my name and leave the light things breathing in the space between your door and mine, until the next reply comes back to meet me, and we begin again in time. I carry the day, I carry the day, and it carries me too, all the way. I carry the day, I carry the day until we meet again, until we meet again. I keep my own small promise folded neat, set it beside the page. The room keeps time in soft repeats, and hinges in the curtain sway. My headphones hold a little tight, and I let the afternoon arrive. No need to hurry, what I mean, I'm learning how to keep things alive. I start with how the kettle sounds, the plant I moved by the sideboard chair. How yesterday I found your note still tucked inside a book I'd left somewhere. The floorboard knows my wandering pace, the pencil marks my slowing hand, and every ordinary thing I name feels kinder when I try to send. I tell you that the bus still groans, that Mrs. Lee still feeds the birds, that I still laugh at tiny things I never quite know how to say in words. There's laundry sleeping on the line, there's mint and water by the sink, and I am not in any rush to reach the part I'm trying not to think, because some miles are only miles, some silence is a place to rest, and what we leave between the lines can still be held against the chest. So I write it slow, I write it soft, like linen curtains breathing off the latch. A little life goes out from here and finds the place where your days match mine. I'm sending breadcrumb truths and half-formed hopes, the smell of rain on cloth, the shape of tea. If words can travel without making noise, edges round, brushes trace the low-down swing. Muted strings of thoughts appear, then fade like water off a wing. I wrote that I'm still stealing time to sit with music on the floor. That lately I've been learning how to want a little less, a little more. I told you I bought pears by chance, and one was bruised but sweet inside. The way some days look almost plain until you find the tender side. I didn't say how often I rehearse the things I tell you face to face, or how your name can settle me before I've even found the place. But I said the night is kind this week. The stars come through the alley trees, and every now and then I pause just to let the quiet answer me. So I write it slow, I write it soft, like linen curtains breathing off the latch. A little life goes out from here and finds the place where your days match mine. I'm sending breadcrumb truths and half-formed hopes, the smell of rain on cloth, the shape of tea. If words can travel without making noise, then let this page keep humming you to me. If this arrives with creases, let it prove it took the road. I hope it meets you where you are and makes your shoulders light and load. No grand farewells, no perfect lines, just this: I'm here and you are near. The door stays open in my mind, and I'll be writing still next year. So keep a space in your reply for small delights and everyday grace. I'll read your news like weather coming in and smile right through the page. And when the ink begins to dry, I know the thread is not undone. It only waits between our lives till we begin to speak as one. I set my pen beside the cup and listen to the room breeze slow. Steam makes a soft white spiral while the record turns in low glow. Your name stays folded in the margin of the day, like a note I keep returning to, though you're far away. Open on a small physical action, I press the page with my palm. Draw the first line carefully, like smoothing down a quiet calm. I tell you how the hallway keeps its echo afternoon, how the plant on the sill leans toward the same old tune. The kettle made a tiny click, the kind that hardly speaks, and I caught myself saving up the little things for weeks. I wrote about the grocery list, the broken little clasp on my coat, how I hummed your favorite chorus while I waited for the tote. The day is moving gently, not asking me to race, so I let the sentences arrive in their own place. There's so much that never needs a grand reveal, just a hand on the rail, just the way I still feel you in the edges of an ordinary scene, in the blue of the bowl, in the seam between. And I send you this drift, the coffee steaming light, a quiet trail of moments from the middle of my night tonight. Nothing urgent, nothing ice, just a tender line saying I am here and you are still mine. In the soft repeat of days, in the corners of my mind, you keep showing up gentle, right on time. So I write and I wait and I let the small truths land, like warm cups in the afternoon held steady in my hand. Ooh, the room keeps humming. Ooh, the thread keeps running. You laugh to hear me say the chair still squeaks the same, and the neighbor's radio leaks out a half-finished refrain. I learned a new way to fold the shirt you left behind, not because I had to, just because it feels aligned. The cat on the carpet makes a circle by my feet. I think of how we used to call that pattern complete. I never found the perfect words for what I mean, so I stack the honest pieces in between. I tell you I'm still learning how to keep my days, how to make a home from all the little passing ways. Some mornings I am quiet, some I sing along, but even even on the heavy ones, the thread stays strong. And I send you this drift of coffee, steam, and light, a quiet trail of moments from the middle of my night tonight. Nothing urgent, nothing asked, just a tender line saying I am here and you are still mine. In the soft repeat of days, in the corners of my mind, you keep showing up gentle, right on time. So I write and I wait and I let the small truths land, like warm cups in the afternoon held steady in my hand. If this letter takes its time, let it take its time. Every inch of the page is a bridge in a simple rhyme. I leave the final sentence open, like a door not closed, for the next familiar visit that the future chose. And when we meet again, we'll laugh at how the hours flew. Till then, I'm here, still listening, still making room for you. The thread keeps running, ooh, and we'll keep coming back. Ooh, the thread keeps running, easy, steady, on the track. The kettle just went quiet, and the page is still half blank. I'm letting that small hush settle where the busy minutes sank. Your name is in the margin, like a note I didn't plan. And I'm starting with the little things the day has set in hand. Open on something that is just finished. The fan is turning gently, moving shadows across the floor. My shoes by the door are tired, but they don't need to ask for more. I found the blue ink pen you left when summer slipped away. It writes a little slower now, and that feels right for today. The radio was humming low, then vanished with the mail. I let the house stay ordinary, I let it tell its tale. There's rice in the pot for later, there are peaches on the plate. And I keep thinking how a small room can feel like a long wait. I'm not chasing any answer, I'm just tracing where you've been, setting down the tiny weather that keeps folding me in. So I'm riding through the drift chairs, through the quiet afternoon, where the last warm light still lingers, like it's staying for the tune. If the miles are made of silence, let them soften as they fall. I can hear you in the details, and the details hold us all. Today I water basil leaves and watch the drops gather bright. I folded the clean dish towels and stacked them just a little tight. The neighbor's child was laughing somewhere beyond the courtyard gate. It made the whole room kinda like it knew not to be late. I still haven't fixed the hinge that clicks whenever I pass by. It keeps time for no one special, and I've learned not to ask why. I wore the cardigan you liked, the one with cuffs going soft, and for a second I could almost hear your teasing clearing off. I'm not dressing up the ending, I'm just letting it be true. Some days are only bread and rainwater, some days are made of you. So I'm riding through the drift chairs, through the quiet afternoon, where the last warm light still lingers, like it's staying for the tune. If the miles are made of silence, let them soften as they fall. I can hear you in the details, and the details hold us all. For the creases in the paper, a little room for the breath between the lines. The room keeps its easy rhythm, and I keep yours beside mine. I tell you that I'm sleeping better when the windows crack at night, that I finally plan a mint again, and it's reaching toward the light. I've been walking slow lately just to let the hours pass, to notice how the tree outside keeps drawing lace and grass. There's a scarf on the chair by the window folded by my hand. I never use it much, but it makes the corner understand. And if my voice sounds soft to hear, it's only 'cause I've seen how even ordinary afternoons can leave a long fine sheen. So I'm hiding through the drift chairs, through the quiet afternoon, where the last warm light still lingers, like it's staying for the tune. If the miles are made of silence, let them soften as they fall. I can hear you in the details, and the details hold us all. When this letter finally closes, I won't ask the day to stay. I'll just fold it into evening, send a little light your way. And if you write me back tomorrow or a month from now, that's fine. I'll be here among the small things, and I'll read between the lines. I'll be here among the small things, and I'll read between the lines. Settle in, let the day keep breathing. Open your notebook slow and let it lean on my knee. I got my headphones on, but I can still hear the sea of little things around me. The cups, the keys, the clock, the hum inside the hallway, the gentle body rock of this room in the afternoon, steady as a hand while I try to find the right small word you'd understand. I made tea and forgot it, then drank it cool and plain. Watched the curtain move once like you knew your name. There's a pear on the counter going soft at the edge, a postcard by the sink, a plant is clinging to the ledge. And I thought of how you'd laugh at the mess I call fine, how you'd say the chair is crooked and still call it mine. So I'm writing all of this, the ordinary parade, like a ribbon through the quiet where our long old jokes are made. If I sound a little close, it's because you're near tonight, in the shape of what I haven't said, in the page, in the light. I don't need a perfect letter, just a line that lands right, just a voice to carry gently through the ordinary. Why? Take a seat in the middle of my afternoon, let the minute hands wander, let the shadows bloom. I'm keeping you a place where the small things stay, in the easy, humming middle of a regular day. Take a seat and I'll tell you what I couldn't before, how the quiet keeps connecting us from shore to shore. Nothing gray and nothing broken, just a thread that won't let go. A soft and steady reaching that we both still know. Apricot light on the glass and the room goes slow. Every little reflection says you're not so far away. I met the neighbor's dog at the stairs and he knew my coat. I laughed out loud in the kitchen at the note I wrote. Buy more pears, call your system in the blue loose seam. Then I added to my friend, I'm still inside the dream. Work has been a little loud, but not enough to break. Just enough to make me miss the way your shoulders shake. When something simple turns amusing, when the day lets go, and we find ourselves inside it like a song we already know. I've been sleeping better lately with the fan on low, listening to the traffic like a river down below. There's a cardigan by the sofa, there's a book half read, there's a memory of your last joke turning in my head. Nothing here has changed too much, and still I notice more, how the little unchanged details make a kind of sure. Take a seat in the middle of my afternoon, let the minute hands wander, let the shadows bloom. I'm keeping you a place where the small things stay, in the easy, humming middle of a regular day. Take a seat and I'll tell you what I couldn't before, how the quiet keeps connecting us from shore to shore. Nothing grand, nothing broken, just a thread that won't let go. A soft and steady reaching that we both still know. So when this page is folded and the evening starts to lean, I hope it finds you lightly in whatever you have seen. I'm here and you are there, and that's enough for now, with the calm that holds quiet as a heartbeat, steady as a song. Soft counting, keep it easy. Open by counting something. I start with 7 small things on my table, 7 quiet rings. One is your letter with the corner a little bent. One is the cup I keep beside it where the afternoon went. 2 is the tape on the box by the door still waiting there. 3 is the shirt on the chair that I meant to mend and wear. 4 is the song in my head that I never quite let go. 5 is the plant by the window leaning toward the glow. 6 is the dust on the record I forgot to play. 7 is the thought of you arriving in an ordinary way. I wrote your name, then paused to listen to the room. Even the clock sounds soft when it has nothing much to prove. And I keep leaving space between the lines, so your voice can fit there when you find the time. It's nothing grand, just a little life I know, folded up careful in the margin where it can show. If a bicycle passes beneath amber street trees, I think of you beside me, turning easy with the breeze. No big speech, no bright parade, just a steady weighted distance can't be made into a bridge of small good days. A few more steps, a few more stays. If a bicycle passes beneath amber street trees, send me one word and I'll know you're near me. I should tell you the honest parts, the ones I nearly miss. I learned to make soup from memory, and I still oversaw the dish. The neighbor's dog knows my steps, though I'm not always sure I do. And the ferry down by the river still reminds me of you. I took the long route home the other night for no real reason. Watched the traffic blink and change like weather changing season. There was a man fixing his bike and I thought of your hands, how you tighten every little thing until it finally stands. I bought a postcard I won't send and laughed and kept it near, because some things wanna paper home before they disappear. I've been fine, more or less, in the quiet way we mean, learning how to hold the day without making it mean. If a bicycle passes beneath amber street trees, I think of you beside me, turning easy with the breeze. No big speech, no bright parade, just a steady weighted distance can be made into a bridge of small good days. A few more steps, a few more stays. If a bicycle passes beneath amber street trees, send me one word and I'll know you're near me. So here is my long letter, soft and a little late, written through the hour when the curtains sway. I'm leaving you the best of this ordinary scene, the hum of the room, the dust, the green. And if you answer tomorrow or a week from now, I'll read it slowly, the way I'm writing out. No need to rush, no need to say it all. We'll meet again in the shape of a call, in the shape of a laugh, in the shape of a plan, in the shape of a bicycle fading down the avenue. Then 7 small things and one for you. I'm here, I'm good, and I still come through. Paper on my knees, the day keeps breathing slow. I set the envelope down and let the quiet show. My headphones hum a little while the ceiling drifts by, and the room holds still as if it knows why. Open with the plain statement of what today is. Today is an easy one, a soft and wandering kind. I got the letter started and I did not have to mind. The kettle cool beside me, the page stayed in my hand, and every small distraction felt gentle where I stand. I wrote your name twice, then laughed and crossed it out, just to make the opening feel more like what we talk about. There's a plant by the sofa leaning toward the glass, and I swear it grows a little every time the hours pass. The book I left half open has a crease in the spine. On the dog-eared page I found your underlying line. You said, keep telling little things, they matter more than you know. So I'm telling you the little things before I let them go. The light moves slow across the cover of the book, from margin to margin, from nook to nook. I follow it with my eyes and I don't feel far, just held by the thread of where you are. And I keep count of the ordinary, one by one. The cups, the crumbs, the calls that never quite were done. The quiet way the afternoon leans into the floor. The way your voice can stay with you long after it's no more. I count the hours softly, I count the missing ring, I count the unsaid pieces that the paper lets me bring. If distance is a hallway, then this note is my way through, counting all the small sure signs that still lead me back to you. You asked about my morning, so I wrote them line by line. The stove that needs a touch and the shirt on the drying line. The neighbor's radio tuned into a song I barely know. A spoon in the sink, the window, and the dust and afterglow. I told you that I miss you in a way that stays kind. Not a storm, not a wound, just a room in my mind that opens when I hear a laugh that sounds like yours did then, and closes when I'm busy, then opens once again. There's so much left unsaid, but it doesn't feel like loss. More like a bridge we keep on building, plank a quiet gloss. I mentioned that I saved the postcard from the spring, the one with crooked handwriting and a tiny paper wing. I folded in a recipe you'd probably make too sweet, and tucked in the page where we once planned where we might meet. And I keep count of the ordinary, one by one. The cups, the crumbs, the calls that never quite were done. The quiet way the afternoon leans into the floor. The way your voice can stay with you long after it's no more. I count the hours softly, I count the missing ring, I count the unsaid pieces that the paper lets me bring. If distance is a hallway, then this note is my way through, counting all the small sure signs that still lead me back to you. The light slides off the book now, but I know it will return, like every patient promise that keeps its gentle turn. So I'll steal this up and send it with the steady hand, a little map of every day, a line to help you land. And when you read these small things, I hope you feel it too. The counting is my way of saying I am still with you, still here, still soft, still reaching through, until the next time I can count these days with you. And I keep count of the ordinary, one by one. The cups, the crumbs, the calls that never quite were done. The quiet way the afternoon leans into the floor. The way your voice can stay with you long after it's no more. I count the hours softly, I count the missing ring, I count the unsaid pieces that the paper lets me bring. If distance is a hallway, then this note is my way through, counting all the small sure signs that still lead me back to you. No hurry now, the page is full, the envelope is near. I leave a little room inside for when you answer here. And if the day goes by the same, I'll still be glad it knew how to make a quiet place for me to think of you. See you in the next letter, see you in Open on hands, doing something small and careful, folding the day into a sheet of quiet blue. The kettle rests, the hallway keeps its footsteps, and I keep thinking of the last time I saw you. I got my headphones on, but the room still listens. The rug beneath me soft as a held inside. I write your name, then pause to let it settle, like a bird that circles once and then decides. Nothing urgent here, just a little weather, a stack of notes, a cup gone cool beside my knee. I tell you how the grocery line was patient, how I learned the neighbor's dog knows every key. Toward evening, the day leans long and gentle, but the windows keep their promise bright and wide. If the miles are a river, I'm still crossing softly, with your name like a lantern at my side. Toward evening, I'm leaving the door unlatched, for the laugh you say for when you come around. Nothing lost here, only turning quieter as the same small music settles down. I almost wrote about the ache of missing, then chose the part where morning made me smile. The basil on the silk grew taller this week, and I swear it leaned like it was thinking for a while. I fixed the drawer that always caught on winter, found your old postcard tucked behind the plate. It felt like hearing you in the next room humming, not gone at all, just arriving late. The room stays bright though the edges soften, and something in me turns its face to you. Even the shadow by the chair grows easy, like it knows how our ordinary days come true. Toward evening, the day leans long and gentle, but the windows keep their promise bright and wide. If the miles are a river, I'm still crossing softly, with your name like a lantern at my side. Toward evening, I'm leaving the door unlatched, for the laugh you say for when you come around. Nothing lost here, only turning quieter as the same small music settles down. So I'll seal this with a steady hand and send it, folded light, a page that knows your name. When you read it, let the kettle finish singing, let the afternoon remain the same. And if tonight arrives before I'm ready, I'll meet it kindly, not afraid, because somewhere beyond the blocks and distance, we are still the friends we made. Toward evening, still connected. Toward evening, still okay. We'll meet again along the way. Open on a line of remembered speech, I left it there where the paperclip breathed. Your name came easy like a borrowed tune, slipping through my room in the afternoon. I wrote about the kettle and the stack of books, how the basil on the sill keeps its patient looks. I wrote about the shoes by the door again, and the little hour I can't quite name. The floorboards held my weight like they knew the plan. Slow little circles from my pen in my hand. I told you the mail still lands on time, but some days I just read your side between the lines. There's a crack in the mug and I still use it. There's a song on the floor I keep walking through, and nothing big, nothing wild, just the shape of the day. But each small thing says you in a quiet way, and I don't need thunder to know you're near. I keep a thread in the air from here to here. If the words are simple, let them be true. I can carry a room full of ordinary through. It's plain missing, plain and clear, like leaving the lamp on while you're not here. Not heavy, not hurt, just a soft little seam, a line in the fabric of an ongoing dream. It's plain missing, and I won't hide. It walks beside me in a gentle stride. I fold it into the page and send, knowing it will meet you at the other end. Rhodes and hush and the chair creaks slow. Still with you, even slow. I wrote about the neighbors laugh through the wall, how the plant by the sink finally learned to stand tall. I wrote that I've been sleeping with the window cracked and waking to the kind of peace I nearly lacked. I told you I still hum when the water runs. I still count the clicks between the hours and the suns. And though your chair is empty at the edge of my sight, it never stays empty in the middle of the night, because you answer in habits I almost miss. In the way I set 2 cups down without thinking of this, in the grocery line, in the pause, in the bend, there's a small invisible hand from a faraway friend. I'm learning that distance can be thin as thread, strong enough to carry what we never said. So I leave room in the margins, a breath, a trace for the day you come back to this familiar place. It's plainness and plain and clear, like leaving the lamp on while you're not here. Not heavy, not hurt, just a soft little seam, a line in the fabric of an ongoing dream. It's plainness, and I won't hide. It walks beside me in a gentle stride. I fold it into the page and send, knowing it will meet you at the other end. So read this slow when the day runs thin. Hear the same old voice from the places within. I'm hearing the noise of the softly turning hours, where honey-colored morning lingers afternoon in the flowers. If you miss me back, let that be enough. Let the quiet keep carrying what we've built from stuff. I'll write again and you'll write too, and the space between us will stay full of you. Until then I'm fine, and I'm yours in the line. Paper on the floor, your name in the margin. Headphones on, the day moving slowly by. I let the city hum while I choose my first line, and the page leans in like it knows why. Open by name in the room or the street, I said I'd try. So here's the room, the rug, the couch, the half-filled sky. The kettle's gone quiet, my tea is gone mild. I'm sitting cross-legged like I'm back in our childhood. There's a receipt beside me with the shopping list stain. I folded it twice and it still wants to rain, so I keep it nearby as a bookmark of now, for the little things I never know how to say when we're laughing across different time. When your voice is a postcard I keep in my mind. I saw a cracked mug and thought of your blue one at home, and how we both swear that we're better alone, but only for minutes, not years, not too long, because even the quiet can feel like a song. Nothing dramatic, just honest and small. A chip plate, a bus route, the neighbor's white cat in the hall. My week has been ordinary, plain as the bread. Still every plain detail is a thing to be said. I'm still writing, still folding the air into lines, still leaving a space where your answer will shine. A handwritten note tucked beside the receipt, a soft little promise that we haven't met defeat. I'm still writing with the window open a bit, letting the room breathe, letting the true parts fit. If miles are a river, then this is my bridge. A little bit of ink and a little brave ridge. I'm still writing, and you're not as far as before. When I said You'd laugh at the way I've been watering thrift store herbs, how I talk to the basil like it understands words. The curtains keep swaying like they know your old jokes, and I catch myself smiling at the sounds of the strokes. Pen on the paper, a small steady rain. Nothing to prove, nothing to gain. I wrote about groceries, the train that was late, about the barber who whistled in 4/4 time by the gate, about the book on my table I haven't yet read, because I keep thinking instead of ahead. And maybe that's growth, or maybe it's grace, to let a slow afternoon have its own pace. I didn't tell you the hard part first, just the part that feels like it might quench your thirst for proof that the distance can still be held by the nick on a mug and the stories I've shelved. I'm still writing, still folding the air into lines, still leaving a space where your answer will shine. A handwritten note tucked beside the receipt, a soft little promise that we haven't met defeat. I'm still writing, with the window open a bit, letting the room breathe, letting the true parts fit. If miles are a river, then this is my bridge. A little bit of ink and a little brave ridge. I'm still writing, and you're not as far as before. When I set down a sentence, I'm knocking at your door. So keep a place for me in the corner of your day. I'll keep a place for you in the easy things I say. The page is almost full, but I'm not quite done. There's always one more small hello before the sun slips on. And if this letter finds you on some tired turning street, know I wrote you steady, and we'll meet where we both breathe. Still writing, still here, still soft in the thread, with the note by the receipt and your name overhead. Keep it easy, keep it close. Keep it easy, keep it close. How do I tell you the little things first? The kettle sang once, then the whole room softened. I folded the morning into a page by hand, with your name resting quietly near the margin. My headphones were on, but I still heard the house, that patient little creak in the floor by the sofa. I laughed at myself for the way I still pause when I think I can almost hear you answer. Today I watered the plant that leans by the glass, and one new leaf turned toward the door like it knew me. I wore your old joke like a borrowed scarf, just to see if the day would feel less empty. It did, in a small and ordinary way, like a cup set down where the light could find it. Nothing is broken, nothing is lost, but I still send these words across. Keep writing, let the page hold the thread. Keep writing, all the quiet things we said. If the miles make a soft little ache, I can live with the shape that it makes. Keep writing, and I'll meet you there again. After lunch I stood by the balcony rail, watching the rain end in a shy silver shimmer. The clouds moved on and the air turned clean, as if the day had remembered its better manners. A sparrow landed on the edge of the chair, looked at me once, then went on with its business. I thought of your face in a different town, of the roads between us and how they still listen. I meant to mention the book on the floor, how the corner of the cover is bent from travel. I meant to say that I still keep the Coast Guard, with the blue ink faded to something gentler. And there were things I never quite name out loud, like how your voice can make the room feel wider. So I write them here in a softer way, so they can cross over without any hurry. Keep writing, Let the page hold the thread. Keep writing, keep writing. All the quiet things we said. If the miles make a soft little ache, I can live with the shape that it makes. Keep writing, and I'll meet you there again. If the day drifts slow, let it drift. If the words complain, let them live. I'll leave a light line by the end of this note. Not a goodbye, just a place